This is the end of the road. This is the end of the line. This is the end of your life. This is Avengers Endgame. Thanos had his rules of conduct. The Avengers have theirs. Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Retroactive MCU review. Welcome to the culmination of it all. Welcome to Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame, the epic finale of the Infinity Saga. Over a decade of storytelling in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is a film event that defies expectations and delivers an emotional and cinematic experience unlike any other. Directed by the Russo brothers, Anthony and Joe, this movie isn't just another superhero film. It's a profound and introspective journey that pays homage to the past while setting the stage for the future of the MCU. The film picks up after the events of Avengers Infinity War, where Thanos has wiped out half of all life in the universe. The remaining Avengers are left broken and defeated, grappling with their own failures and losses. This sets the stage for a narrative that goes beyond the typical superhero fare. Endgame is a meditation on loss, sacrifice, and the resilience of the human spirit. It explores the consequences of the hero's actions and the toll it takes on their personal lives. Tony Stark somehow gets rescued from being stranded in space by Captain Marvel, which seemed way too easy to pull. But hey, we get Tony back on Earth, finally reuniting with Steve Rogers. The Avengers brainstorm, the Avengers argue, and then the Avengers decide. Let's go get that son of a bitch! So this time, Thor went for the head, over an already beaten and injured Thanos. No luck, no more stones. The Avengers' failure was assured. The snap could not be undone. 5 years later, a desolate, broken world is greeted by an unexpected hero. A rat! Click, click, bang, bang. And Scott Lang is miraculously rescued from the quantum realm. And what if time works differently in the quantum realm? What if the Avengers can go back and change their fate? It's do-over time for Earth's mightiest heroes. The Avengers will conduct their own quest for the Infinity Stones, and this time through time traveling via the quantum realm to specific points in the past, specific points in their past, where they will attempt to retrieve the stones and in the process retrieve a piece of their own soul. Everything has a price, and the Avengers would find that out soon enough. As a wise man once said, when you mess with time, time tends to mess with you back. 3 teams, 6 stones, let the quest begin. Team New York. Ant-Man, Cap, Hulk, and Tony reached New York in 2012 in the middle of the Chitauri fight from the first Avengers. Hulk pays a visit to the Sorcerer Supreme to get the Time Stone, not without its challenges, intellectual duels, and an Infinity Stone slideshow. Time Stone retrieved. The Mind Stone, placed into safeguards by agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after the Battle of New York. But wait a minute, those are Hydra agents, reprising their role from the Winter Soldier. We get a callback to the epic elevator scene, which shows how Cap grew and learned to use his wit more than his might. Hail Hydra, indeed! Cap v Cap was a cool duel on the screen, with the old Captain America's Achilles heel. Bucky is alive! Mind Stone retrieved. Iron Man and Ant-Man were in charge of obtaining the Tesseract, the Space Stone, which would mean taking it off the 2012 Avengers after their hard-won fight. We got more Winter Soldier callbacks with Alexander Pierce. Hulk took the stairs. Hulk doesn't like the stairs. That was a big mistake. The Tesseract lands in Loki's lap and Loki peaced out to star in his own Disney Plus show. Space Stone not retrieved yet. Team Asgard. Thor and Rocket Raccoon embark on a mission to retrieve the Reality Stone from Asgard in the year 2013, during the events of Thor, the Dark World. Thor reunites with his mother and gets a much needed comfort and advice, while Rocket, flies solo, eventually retrieves the ether from Jane Foster. It was a touching moment for Thor and his mother, giving him a glimpse of hope and security. And on the way, Thor proves himself that he is still worthy and yanks the once whole Mjolnir back with him. Reality Stone retrieved. Team Space, Morag, Vormir. Nebula, War Machine, Black Widow and Hawkeye, or is it Ronin? I'm so confused. Make their way to space with a mini spaceship in their pocket. How convenient. And there they split. Rhodey and Nebula go after the Power Stone. A nice callback to the beginning of the first Guardians of the Galaxy in 2014. Quill looks like a moron, as always. Get punched in the face. Nebula and Rhodey have a moment while they take the Power Stone using the tools of a thief. But oh no! Nebula has a communication breakdown! Network malfunctions as she's intertwining with the 2014 back in the day evil Nebula. Power Stone retrieved. Nebula compromised. Meanwhile on Vormir, Hawkeye and Nat get to experience firsthand the wonders of the Red Skull's Goth and the undeniable truth about the Soul Stone. You must lose that which you love. A soul for a soul. Let the fight begin. Hawkeye and Nat battle it out in one of the most emotionally challenging moments in the movie, for the right to sacrifice themselves for the team and fulfill their fate. Black Widow won. Black Widow jumped to her demise as all she had was this family, and she was willing to sacrifice everything, whatever it takes, to save it. Clint is distraught. Natasha is dead. I am in tears. Soul Stone retrieved. Back to New York. Tony and Steve decide to take a detour to the 1970s to Cap's old stomping ground, Camp Lehigh, with some sense of ingenuity, and because Tony knows what he knows, it was then the location of the Tesseract, along with the presence of one Dr. Hank Pym. Tony and Steve go through their emotional arcs. Tony gets to reconnect with his father one last time, and realizing his father loved him after all. Steve got a glimpse of Peggy Carter. All he ever wanted was to have that one dance with her, which may have been the moment where Steve decided what he would do once this all ends. Both arcs tie nicely to the actual personality and maturation of each character, and giving them a sense of closure and understanding of who they are and where do they come from. Space Stone finally retrieved. All the Avengers make their way back. All but one. It's an emotional scene when the 5 original Avengers mourn the loss of Natasha. They were the only family she ever knew. They have to make this work. They have to. The Avengers work on creating a new Infinity Gauntlet to harness the power of the stones. The task of wielding the gauntlet becomes central to the film's climax. There are many volunteers, but turns out the stones emit mostly gamma radiation. It's like the Hulk was meant to do this. The Hulk puts the iron gauntlet on. Ouch! That hurts. Come on, Hulk! Hulk, you got this! And while the Avengers' back is turned, our 2014 infiltrated Nebula, the evil Nebula, works her IT skills. She inserts her Nebula code into the quantum tunnel in a timeless ploy. Get it? Timeless? She brings Thanos and all of his might and armies, and I do mean all of them, to our Avengers time. The Hulk activates his green willpower and manages to snap his fingers. The Hulk falls to the ground. The Hulk opens his eyes, only to see, up in the sky, Thanos' space battleship launching an attack and demolishing the Avengers compound. There's no way the Avengers survive that. Oh wait, they all survived. The movie continues. Final showdown. Third act time. Break out the CGI. The fight to end all fights. Our holy trinity of Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man against Thanos, who, like a boss, was just sitting there and waiting for the Avengers, who suspected nothing, as the arrogant never do. Clint finds the gauntlet in the rubbles and manages to guard it till he is faced with the deceiving 2014 Nebula. Luckily, the 2014 repenting Gamora and our Nebula stop her. Nebula kills past Nebula, and in essence, she kills that dark side of herself, and in the process, saving herself a hefty sum in future therapy expenses. Thanos is a beast. Our holy trinity does not manage to put him down. They run different plays on him. Tag teams, air attacks, ground attacks. Thanos is too strong, too determined. As Thor was about to get axed, a miracle occurred, and Mjolnir came to the rescue. But who was wielding it? None other than Captain America. He was worthy all along. An amazing callback to the Age of Ultron tease we got all these years before. Cap is taking it to Thanos, kicking his titan ass, summoning lightning and giving Thanos a healthy dose of Asgardian magic right between the eyes. Thanos regroups and beats the living crap out of our beloved Steve Rogers. Steve is Steve. He can do that all day. And there, for a moment, we had Steve Rogers with his never say die attitude rising up against the entirety of Thanos' army. If he's going down, he's gonna go down fighting. Cap, on your left. Oh, how those words resonate. Those words bring hope. Those words bring faith. And those words bring back the fallen Avengers. Oh yes, baby, they're back. They're all back. And they are pissed. They are really pissed. Thanos, beware. Avengers, assemble. This was probably the most epic fight ever portrayed on any screen. Everybody who's anybody, and a few nobodies, they were all there, fighting, uniting, avenging. The final battle was a spectacle to watch, with cool team-ups and callbacks along the way. We have a fully equipped Infinity Gauntlet. We also have one angry Titan going after it. You better keep it as far away as possible. Speaking of keeping something as far away as possible, Wanda locked eyes with Thanos, who took everything from her. Thanos didn't even know who she was. You will, Wanda said. And then she proceeded to whooping Thanos like there's no tomorrow. Wanda is not to be messed with. Open your umbrellas, because Thanos decided to rain fire and annihilate everybody on the battlefield. Oh, the explosions! Oh, the horror! But guess who decides to give the assist? Captain Marvel comes back, how convenient, and obliterates Thanos' ship. Captain Marvel is oh so powerful. Hey, Peter Parker! Captain Marvel takes charge of the gauntlet and faces Thanos' armies. But don't worry, she's not alone! Go get him, ladies! Thanos is Thanos for a reason. The battle ensues. Everybody is trying to prevent Thanos from getting the gauntlet. Thor, Steve, Carol. Thanos manages to fight them all off. Thanos even scored the headbutt heard around the world. To Carol. One finger goes up in the air. Tony, there was no other way. These words echo in Tony's mind. Thanos is inevitable, but Tony is Iron Man. Tony knows what he must do. Launches himself at Thanos, works some nanotech magic. Thanos finally snaps his fingers, but oh wait, where are the stones? I am Iron Man. With his famous last words, Tony makes the ultimate sacrifice and snaps away all the evil Thanos forces and turns them into dust. Poetic justice indeed. Thanos is defeated. Tony Stark is dead. The action sequences are nothing short of spectacular. The battle against Thanos and his forces is a visual feast, and the use of CGI is seamless. But what sets Endgame apart is what it doesn't rely solely on spectacle. The film's true power lies in its ability to make you care deeply about the characters and their motivations, making the action sequences all the more impactful. The funeral of Tony Stark signifies the end of an era and the passing of the mantle to a new generation. The scene encapsulates themes of selflessness as Stark's ultimate sacrifice saved the universe, and it highlights the profound impact one individual can have on the collective fate of humanity. The floating proof that Tony Stark has a heart released into the lake becomes a powerful symbol of his humanity and the enduring legacy he leaves behind. The somber atmosphere and the assembled cast of characters paying their respects underscore the interconnectedness of the Marvel Universe, emphasizing that even in loss, the spirit of heroism lives on. Avengers Endgame pays homage to the entire MCU, with callbacks and references that are an absolute delight to us nerdy fans who have been following the saga from the beginning. It's a love letter to the fans who have invested so much in this cinematic universe, rewarding their decision with moments of pure fan service. Avengers Endgame, directed by Anthony and Joe Russo, the epic conclusion to the Infinity Saga, garnered immense anticipation and delivered on the expectations of fans worldwide, boasting a star-studded ensemble cast and a meticulously crafted narrative that spanned over a decade of interconnected storytelling. Its global box office earnings, totaling over $2.79 billion worldwide. An unprecedented box office success, solidifying its place as a cinematic juggernaut. The film swiftly became the highest grossing movie of all time, surpassing the previous record holder, Avatar, for at least a few months. In the end, all of our favorite characters are back where they belong, gearing up for the dreaded Phase 4 of their superhero lives. And Steve has a task to do. All the stones must go back to where they came from. Steve goes to his journey. For him, it could take a lifetime, but for us, just a few seconds. Few seconds later. No Steve Rogers! Where's Steve? And out there, in the back, an old guy appears. Old man Steve Rogers, finally making a selfish decision to live his life. After being the man out of time, after sacrificing so much, he got that life Tony was talking about. But old man Steve is here with a purpose. We cannot live in a world without a Captain America. Steve gives Sam the shield and thus anoints him as the new Captain America. Beautiful storytelling. And ultimately, Steve Rogers was able to get that dance with Peggy after all. Avengers Endgame is a cinematic triumph that transcends the superhero genre. It's a deeply emotional and introspective journey that reminds us that even in the face of insurmountable odds, there is always hope, and that true heroes are defined not by their powers, but by their courage, sacrifice, and unwavering determination. It's a fitting and a satisfying conclusion to this chapter of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, leaving audiences with a sense of fulfillment and anticipation for what the future holds. Well, that's it for today, folks! It's only gonna get worse from here. Just kidding. Or am I? So become a contributor to the Boring Nation and like this video. Share your comments down below and subscribe to Mr. Boring, so Mr. Boring can become inevitable.
Thank you.